Hello, thank you for visiting Deloach Education on YouTube. I'm Gary Deloach. In this video, I will demonstrate how to divide with decimals. We will divide decimals by decimals, decimals by whole numbers, and whole numbers by decimals. In the first problem, we have 156 and 2/10 divided by 5. The first thing you have to make sure of when you're dividing with decimals is that your divisor is a whole number. In this case, 5 is a whole number, so therefore we will begin the dividing. We look at 5 into 1, and we know that in this process, 5 cannot go into 1, so we'll move over to 5 into 15. 5 goes into 15 3 times. So we've divided 15 by 5, and we get 3. Now we multiply 5 times 3, which is 15, and we're going to subtract 15 from 15, and we get 0. We're going to bring down our 6. 5 goes into 6 once. 6 minus 5 is 1. And then we're going to bring down the 2. 5 goes into 12 twice. 5 times 2 is 10. 12 minus 10 is 2. And then we're going to annex a 0, and then we're going to bring it down. 5 goes into 20 4 times. And 5 times 4 is 20. So therefore 20 minus 20 is 0, and we're finished dividing. Now, one of the things I normally do when I first begin dividing is before I begin dividing, is I normally just go ahead and put my decimal up here at the top, but I'm going to add it in here at the end. I normally put it in at the top in the quotient before I begin dividing, just so that I don't forget it at the end. I've had students in the past who will forget to put the decimal and end up getting the wrong answer for the problem. Okay. Our next example is 959 thousandths divided by 3 7/10. So as I said with the last problem, the first thing we have to do is make sure our divisor is a whole number. In this case, 3 7/10 is not a whole number, so we're just going to multiply that by 10 or move the decimal one place to the right. And whatever we do to our divisor, we must do to our dividend. So in the dividend, I'm going to shift that decimal one place to the right. In a sense, I'm multiplying by 10. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my decimal upstairs into the quotient, and then I'm just going to begin dividing. Know that 37 does not go into 0. It does not go into 9 evenly, or as a whole number. So we're going to look at 37 into 95. 37 goes into 95. I like to do the guess and check process with my students. I'm going to say 37 times 2. So off to the side, I can just check and see if that works out. 37 times 2 is 74. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do 37 times 3 to make sure. And I end up with should end up with 111. So therefore, I know how I have exceeded that 95 limit. So 2 is going to be the first digit in our quotient. And don't forget to put in that 0 there. And another thing I tell my students is that they can put in a 0 in any place over a digit in which the divisor cannot go into. So 37 times 2 is 74. So I'm going to subtract 74 from 95, and I end up with 21. I'm going to bring down my 9, and I end up with 37 into 219. So I like to use number sense in figuring out how many times 37 can go into 219. And since I already did 37 times 3 right here, and I know that's 111, I'm going to assume that 37 will go into 219 about 5 times. I would go 6, but if I know that 37 times 3 is 111, then I know 37 times 2 is going to be 222 cents, or 37 times 6 is going to be 222, since 6 is 2 times larger than 3. So 37 times 5. 7 times 5 is 35. Carry your 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 3, you get 18. So that's 185. And I do 185, subtract it from 219. 9 minus 5 is 4. End up having to regroup. 11 minus 8 is 3. Then I'm going to annex a 0 and bring it down. 37 into 340. So 37 goes into 340. I'm going to assume about maybe 8 or 9 times, because I know 37 times 10 is 37 times 10 is going to be 370. So I'm going to try 37 times 8 to start with, and I end up with 296. Let's do 37 times 9. Well, 37 times 9. 7 times 9 is 63. Carry your 6. 9 times 3 is 27. Plus 6 is 33. So we end up with 330, which fits in exactly where we need it to in 340. So 37 goes into 349 times 37 times 3, 37 times 9 is 333. And excuse my mistakes here. Trying to go too fast. Slow down just a little bit here. So we're going to subtract 333 from 340, and we end up with 7. Now I only require my students to go out 3 places to the right of our decimal, because in 5th grade our standards say that students must be able to add, subtract, multiply, or divide to the hundredths place. So what I ended up doing is making them go out to the thousandth place and then rounding to the nearest hundredth place. So if you were actually to round this answer to the nearest hundredth, it would be 26 hundredths. But I'm not going to do that right now, because since this isn't a lesson on rounding. Do you understand that this process can continue? So and again, we're just going to stop at the 3rd place in this set of examples. All right, in the next problem, we're going to do another decimal divided by a decimal. So we're going to divide 76 and 89 hundredths by 2 tenths. Since 2 tenths is a decimal, we're going to make it 2 wholes by multiplying by 10. And then I'm going to move the decimal on the inside in our dividend, 1 place to the right, which is like multiplying by 10. I'm going to go ahead and bring my decimal upstairs, and then I'm just going to begin dividing. 2 goes into 7 3 times. 2 times 3 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. Bring down your 6. You end up with 16. 2 goes into 16 8 times. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 minus 16 is 0. Bring down your 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 times 4 is 8. And 8 minus 8 is 0. Bring down your 9. 2 goes into 9 4 times. 2 times 4 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. I'm going to annex a 0 because I want to try to go out 3 places if necessary. In this case, it looks like it's going to stop because 2 goes into 10 5 times. And we end up with 10 minus 10 being 0. So the answer to 76 and 89 hundredths divided by 2 tenths is 384 and 45 hundredths. And in the last example, we're going to divide a whole number by a decimal. So we're going to divide 7 by 12 hundredths. So 12 hundredths is not a whole number, so we're going to make it a whole number by multiplying by 100 or moving the decimal 2 places to the right. Remember that whole numbers do have decimals. We just don't have to show them. Whenever we write a whole number. So I'm going to show that decimal in this case because remember what I do to the divisor, I have to do to the dividend. So since I multiplied the divisor by 100 and moving the decimal 2 places to the right, I have to do this. I have to do the same thing to the dividend and move it 2 places to the right. So then we're going to end up with 700 as our dividend and 12 as our divisor. And we're going to just go ahead and begin dividing. 12 cannot go into 7, so we're going to look at 12 into 70. 12 goes into 70 5 times. 12 times 5 is 60. 70 minus 60 is 10. Bring down your 0. We have 12 into 100. 12 goes into 100 8 times, and 8 times 12 is 96. So 100 minus 96 is 4. Annex a 0 to the right of the decimal. 12 goes into 40 3 times. 12 times 3 is 36. And then we end up with 36 from 40, which is 4. The next one was 0. 12 goes into 40 again 3 times. And it looks like we're going to end up with a repeating number here. So 12 times 3 is 36. 36 from 40 is 4. And we're going to end up repeating. So you can notate that a digit is going to repeat, or a set of digits will repeat by putting a line over the digit or digits that end up repeating. And that concludes this quick tutorial on dividing with decimals. Stay tuned for more videos on my YouTube page. Thank you for visiting Deloach Education on YouTube. I'm Gary Deloach. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below or email me at deloacheducation@gmail.com. Thank you.